Ghostly figures, guiding light, readers and seekers in the night. Hopes and fears, written in gold. Truth appears as stories unfold.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Maureen. I hope everybody had that amazing weekend. And I hope they're having that amazing morning. And I hope whatever time you may be at, if it's evening, afternoon, something like that. So, busy weekend. It was Mina's birthday, so got to cook for a bunch of people, got to set up for a party, so that was fun. Good morning, Holly. Good morning, Angelina. But it's nice to be back to a routine here on a Monday. So, what are we doing here anyway? We are taking that breath. You know, it's funny, actually. I picked up a deck of cards and I started shuffling them. And we know I've made shuffle cards one or two times, but it's like one of those things where it seemed like difficulty shuffling, or like the cards just didn't want to flip right. And it's one of those things again where instead of seeing things as frustration, seeing things as, again, there are no coincidences and everything's an omen. And looking for the positive. So it's like, just remember, I'm going to remember before getting frustrated today, because I wonder if that was the takeaway, is that simple little thing like that should not frustrate me. And so my takeaway from that is that is my little omen that I just need to take an extra breath and not get frustrated today. Silly it's again, like I say, it's not the bears in the wood we worry about, it's the mosquitoes. But now my shuffling is just fantastic. So, listening to the cards like they're the sounds of the ocean. Reminding us to take that breath. Okay, I said that, and now all of a sudden I can't shuffle again. Oh, that's so hilarious. But still, that breath. Checking where our feet are. Making sure our butts are doing the kitty dance this morning, nice and comfortable. Checking the shoulders and then our neck. That is so funny. I don't know what it is about me and shuffling today, but boy, am I going to pay attention to the world. There we go. Breathing through it. So this is our chance to check in with the universe. Or as I like to say, the universe holds up a mirror, asks us what do we see, and we can use a tarot to look in that reflection and find our answer. Or as I suggest, maybe some people could just use yoga or meditation, but it's all about looking in that mirror and seeing what's reflected back. So what does the universe have for us today? Yeah, it's this deck. This deck is kind of weird with the shuffling. Kind of have to feed it through. A perfect allegory for the day. When I'm having struggling shuffling my day. Okay. But enough about me. This is about us. And seeing what we might want to hear. We do that by making our 3 stacks. And it's like each one of these is a different thread going out to the universe, or each one of these is like a different thought or idea. And if we believe in the multiverse, it's like each one of these is a different path, because this stack will lead us down one path. This stack is a totally different conversation and would go in a different direction. And who knows where this stack would go. But today, let's take this bottom stack. Let's pull that string. And let's see what the universe has for us today. And I'll do our 3 and 1. sometimes it's just nice to see what the backs look like against the on the screen. It's got a good looking back. It's different. It's unique. Okay, so flipping each card over one at a time, like we're reading the pages of a book. We have the Two of Cups. So this deck does not have reversals, and I'm reading the deck. I laid them all down as reversals. So we're going to pay attention to that. Keep in mind that everything, as I said, happens for a reason. So normally I would scan the deck, and it would give us a clue, you know, that this does not have reversals. So let's keep in mind also that we are all here together for a reason. And that's why we can all reflect on something like the Two of Cups. Twos are about balance. Yes. It is the ash and thorn. So twos are about balance, and cups are about emotions, spirituality, feelings. And so it's about finding that balance with them. And that's where, just even talking about what we're talking about today, is that sometimes things in life, you know, we get these curves, but it's still about taking that breath and just balancing those things. Sometimes, since the cups can also be with people, it could be about dealing with people or somebody special in our lives. But it all comes down to that balance. And then we have the Queen of Swords. So, court cards can be us, somebody else, or part of the situation. Queens. Queens are the element of water. Queens are our emotions and feelings. Queens are the ones that are nurturing, make sure that the kingdom's taken care of. But we also have swords here. Swords are the element of air. Swords are our thoughts. Swords are our ideas. Sometimes there are anxieties. So when we have the Queen of Swords, I call this the tough love card. People may have heard me say that before after 700 videos. But it is. It's about the Queen understands and has empathy and feelings, but she's the Queen of Swords. So she sees things clearly. She knows what's going on. She's going to weigh things based on the facts. But when she passes judgment, she'll have empathy and feelings. So that's why I call it kind of like the tough love card. And she's looking at the Two of Cups. So when we're looking for that, it's like there's how we feel and what we think. And balancing those things sometimes is not easy to do. So now, what's our next card? Our next card is, this is our Major. This is our destiny card. It's the Death card. It's about transition. It's about moving forward. So we have the Two of Cups, which is about that balance. Same thing with the Queen of Swords, because she's kind of looking lovingly over here at the Two of Cups, the feelings and things like that, but she's going to filter how we're feeling. And she's going to say, I understand how you feel, but this is how things are. And we're going to learn from the Queen of Swords to balance how we feel, because we have the transition coming up. We have the need to move on. Death is not the Hollywood death where it's about somebody's going to die. Death is about the transition. And sometimes transitions are tough to go through. Sometimes we don't want to go through a transition. We don't want to move to the other side. We want things to stay the same. But sometimes we need to finally let go. So it's kind of like, what do we need to let go of? What is it that we have these emotional ties to? That we need the Queen of Swords to help us to filter our needs and our wants so we can make this transition. And look at that. That is absolutely gorgeous. Now, before I flip over the advice card, one thing to keep into consideration is that we are all in the universe together. It all ties together. We're watching this together. We're watching this whenever. And so this deck I pulled up as reversal. So each one of these is actually reversed. So we want to pay attention to what is it that we don't want to let go of. What is it that we need something like the Queen of Swords because we're struggling to transition through. And Angelina said, yeah, leaving the comfort of the cocoon to become a butterfly. Look at that. So let's see what the advice card says. It's the Six of Wands. So wands are our fire. Wands are our energy. Wands are our action. This is also known as the victory card. Because as I say, when you have 5 wands, 5s are always a challenge. 5s are we going to make it over that hill? You know, between 1 and 10, 5's the middle. Are we going to make it? And then we make it over the hill. And we may not be where we ultimately want to be, but we've made it halfway through. We've met a challenge. So today is about taking a look how we feel and then being in charge of that. Being that positive Queen of Swords, which means that it may be a struggle between what we want and what we need. But it's also about doing the next right thing. Doing the next right thing so that we can start the transition, whether we want to transition or not. If we start in that direction, then sometimes the dominoes just fall into place. But it's about having a focus on what's on the other side. So right now we have a couple things that we're working on with our family here. And it's a big change. But once we do it, you know, it's a positive thing. Same thing with whether it's work or even our spiritual life. Because as Angelina said, even our spiritual life, we start out in a cocoon and we're very comfortable. But we can't stay a caterpillar forever, right? So, are we comfortable being a caterpillar? Or are we ready once again to feel that freedom, to learn, to move on? And I never noticed how many butterflies are in here. We see, but we do not observe, as Sherlock Holmes says. So, are we comfortable in being a caterpillar? Or are we ready to try something different? So with that, I hope everybody has that amazing day, that amazing start to their week, their amazing evening, and I will be back here again tomorrow. So again, thank you all so much. Take care, and I'll see you later.
Stars in the sky, cards in my hand, searching for signs, lost in the sand. Whispers of fate, echoes of dreams in the dark slate. Nothing's as it seems. Flip the cards, run around the stories we have found. In the shadows we dance. Take a chance, take a chance. closely